Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Post to Post. Thanks for joining me today for this jersey redesign video. Continuing on with my series, going to every single NHL team, taking their home jersey and redesigning it with a couple of rules. We'll talk about the rules here in a second, but the reason that I'm doing Vancouver in this video is for a very specific reason, which I'll talk about at the end because I don't want to bore you. I want to jump right into the jerseys here, but there is a reason I'm doing it. So if you want to hang out to the end of the video and hear that, that would be pretty cool. So let's bring up the rules and let's talk very quickly about why I'm doing this and how I went about it. So the rules are, I'm allowed a small change in the jersey, I'm allowed a big change in the jersey, and I'm allowed an optional shoulder change. That could be adding a shoulder patch or removing one. And my idea here is just to focus on the home. So you're going to see an away jersey at the end of this, but it's just going to be basically an inverse or a reversal of whatever I do in the home jersey. I'm not thinking about the away, it's just the home. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to challenge myself. It's called a jersey challenge for a reason. It's to replicate a real life scenario. If you're a graphic designer, or a designer in general, doesn't have to be a graphic designer. It could be, you're a webmaster, you're making pages, web pages or something like that. There's rules that you're going to get from an employer and you're going to have to follow those rules. And it happens way more than you think. So that's the rules. That's my challenge for this one. And I'm using the Puck Designs template, just a really simple template. It's free online. Like I said in those other videos, not a sponsor, don't know who made this, but it is free and it is available online. And if you haven't seen those previous ones, there's Toronto, Montreal, the Rangers, Columbus, Florida, I think, and Edmonton. But yeah, once you download this template, you can get a little thank you message and you can follow them on Instagram. So shout out to Puck Designs for sure. And let's show you what Vancouver actually uses now. So this is a mock-up based on what they have going on. Now I will address the elephant in the room, and that is the fact that my hat does not match my jersey. Okay, I apologize. I do not have a blue or white regular Vancouver Canucks jersey, and I don't have a black and gold and red hat. I know it's awkward. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Okay, so my first change is going to be the big change. I wanted to go big change, and I had an idea based on how their pants used to be, and I'll show you that picture of that in a little bit, but I wanted to take the green on the bottom and basically shove it to the top. So there it is. There's my big change, and it's really kind of allowing the bottom of the jersey to breathe, but also allowing more green to kind of just flourish in the actual jersey itself. And I kind of like the split look design that's going on. And I also changed the neck a little bit. It's just not the shoulders and the arms. Like the whole top section of the jersey has been recolorized. Now I did that, but I wasn't happy with the striping at all. I didn't want to keep the same striping because it's weird, green then white and then more green than white. I just felt it was weird. There needed to be a little bit of separation there. So my small change is going to be to fix the striping. And you will see that the logo, the Vancouver Canucks logo, dropped down a little bit. I accidentally had that too high in the previous versions, so just ignore that. But yeah, I just switched up the striping on here just to give some separation, to put some blue back in there, and just to have these stripes actually be stripes, where before they were touching the actual color coming down, and it was maybe a bit conflicting. So one big change, a small change here. And now we have to do the inverse. We need to see what the inverse looks like as an away jersey. So this one I wanted to do very simple. I didn't want to put blue shoulders and a little bit of green in the striping and then white. I wanted to just keep the exact same jersey and just swap the blue out in the middle of the jersey for white. Keep the arms at the bottom blue. You still get the blue. Keep the green in the shoulders and stuff. You just swap the primary color of the jersey, which is the blue in the middle, and you just put white. That's complete cohesion across home and away, in my opinion. And I really like how both look. I like how the home looks, and I like how the away looks. I love the more introduction of green in there. It's something I've always wanted from them. But one of the main reasons I had this idea, or I went this direction, I guess, it's not maybe the best idea for Vancouver, but the reason I went in this direction is because I was looking at their uniform, and they changed their uniform in the last couple of years. They had pants that before had a green stripe that went down the side of them. I'll show you a picture. And at the time, I didn't really like it, but then they changed it to pants that had no stripe at all, and I thought that was a positive change. However, I thought about bringing the pants back if I changed the orientation of the jersey. So if I go back to the jersey that I designed, and if I move the color up, the green up, you have a continuation of green from the neck all the way down the arm to the shoulder. And when the arm is like this, you're forcing a green stripe to become vertically, not horizontally. Before the stripes were horizontally, now the striping is kind of vertically down like this. And that almost replicates what the previous pants looked like. So I thought there would be good relationship and cohesion if we brought back the other pants. So that was really my intention here, is to not only think about this jersey, but also think about the pants that could go with it. Because if you brought the stripe back on the pants, that would have relation to the same kind of shape of green on the arm. So it just continues kind of that design language down into the uniform. And so yeah, that's kind of what I thought. I didn't do a full uniform mock-up, but that was just kind of my creative direction there. And yeah, it is what it is. So there's the Vancouver mock-up. I would say that this is, we had some fails in the previous videos. I think Edmonton was a fail for me. I thought I liked Florida, but overall I didn't like it better than what they currently use. So maybe that was a fail. So I'm not afraid to say that I didn't do a good job. In a couple of those videos, I don't think I did a good job. But in this one, I'm actually quite pleased. I'm not saying that everyone's going to like my home jersey and my away jersey, but I do, and I like it more than what they currently use. So to me, I'm pretty pleased with this, and it's a pass in my books. But I'll get to the reason why I'm actually doing this. So, or Vancouver, I guess next. Vancouver did get some votes in those previous videos, but I was in Halifax a couple of weeks ago, about a week and a half ago, and I was with my girlfriend. We were doing some shopping, and we went to IKEA and did some other things, but we were in the mall, and she was in some store. I don't even know the name of it, to be completely honest. And she was in there for like an hour shopping, and I was okay with that because, we drove all the way to Halifax, and she wanted to do some shopping. So I was being a good boyfriend and carrying all the clothes and just kind of walking around with her. But I was completely zoned out and in there just walking around and completely zoned out, thinking about I was reading the news on my phone on Twitter. I was thinking about the war in the Middle East and all this other stuff, totally zoned out, just walking, going through the motions. And I had been in there for about 45 minutes at the time. And someone came in the store and they recognized me and they said, "Hey, are you Post to Post?" And they said they watched the videos and stuff. And I said, "I know, thank you, I appreciate that and stuff." But I'm pretty sure that's all I said. I was zoned out completely. I did notice that they were wearing a Vancouver hat. So maybe they weren't a Vancouver fan, but they did have a Vancouver hat on. I felt after the fact that, man, I really didn't have a great conversation with that person. I probably should have asked what their favorite team was, or, what their favorite video was and stuff. And I basically just said, "Thank you so much. I really appreciate that." Like, I was polite and I said, thank you and stuff. But I realized after the fact that I didn't really engage with them in return. So I apologize to that person. If you said your name, I did not remember it, and I do apologize. I was in a complete zone out in the moment, and I felt so bad afterwards, and I wanted to find that person again and say sorry, but I didn't see them in the mall again. So anyways, apologies to that person, whoever that was. If you're ever in the Moncton Dieppe area, reach out to me via email. We'll go for coffee or hang out or something like that. So this video is to that person. Maybe you don't like the design videos, but if you're watching this, this is for you. I pushed Vancouver up the list for you, so I appreciate you reaching out to me in person and saying hi and watching the videos, of course, obviously. So there you have it. There's the design. There's my backstory. And now it's your turn. Now I need to know what team I need to do next, because I've not designed the rest of the teams. We're at the point now where I need your votes down below in the comments section. There's lots of votes for specific teams in the previous videos, so I kind of have an idea of some teams I can do next. A lot of people are just like, do whatever you want, do the original 6, like just whatever. We like the videos, so just keep going. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, let's wrap it up here. I'm going to take this off of my screen, and we'll say goodbye. And you leave me your thoughts down below in the comment section of the design and the jersey and what you want to see next. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you're staying cool out there. It's a heat wave. Today, specifically where I am, it's going to be 43, which is 109 degrees Fahrenheit. So pretty hot for Canada. So it's going to be a wild one out there. So I'm shutting down the lights in here after this video, and I'm going to cool off. We'll talk to you guys in the future. Adios.